Marcus, if you were driving alone at night and you saw someone standing on the side of the road in the rain, would you pull over?
Honestly, no. And I feel bad about that, but no.
What if it was a young woman in a white dress?
Especially not then. That's every ghost story ever. I'm not stopping.
Welcome back to What If It's Real, where we take the stories people tell each other in the dark and ask, what if they're true? I'm Riley.
And I'm Marcus. Today we're covering one of the oldest urban legends in human history. Not just American folklore, not just modern horror. This one predates cars entirely. We're talking about the Vanishing Hitchhiker.
The story goes like this. A driver is traveling alone at night, usually on a quiet stretch of road, and they pick up a hitchhiker. The hitchhiker is quiet, maybe a little strange, but nothing alarming. They give an address, the driver heads there.
And at some point during the journey, the driver looks over and the passenger is gone, vanished. No open door, no window, nothing, just an empty seat.
The driver, now completely unraveling, goes to the address the hitchhiker gave. And when they knock on the door, an older person answers, a parent, usually.
And the parent tells them, "My daughter died on this road on a night just like this, years ago."
Sometimes the driver has proof. The hitchhiker left something behind, a jacket, a bag, a piece of jewelry, something that can be verified.
And in some versions, the driver finds that item on the grave. The hitchhiker returned it herself.
This legend is documented across cultures going back centuries. Pre-automobile versions involve vanishing passengers in carriages. There are versions in Ireland, Korea, the Philippines, Brazil, the American South. Every culture that has roads has some version of this story.
Which tells you something. This isn't just a ghost story. It's tapping into something universal.
But before we get philosophical, let's set the scenario. It's late. You're driving a mostly empty highway. You see someone on the shoulder of the road. They look distressed. What do you do?
Okay, so in the real world, picking up hitchhikers is genuinely risky. The advice has been don't do it for decades. But let's say you're a compassionate person and the situation looks urgent.
You pull over. They get in. They're quiet, maybe a little cold, a little damp. They give you an address. You start driving.
What are the warning signs that this person might not be entirely alive?
Great question. In the compiled versions of this legend, there are consistent details. They're unusually cold to the touch. They don't make small talk. They answer questions but don't initiate. They seem slightly out of place, like their clothing is from another era.
And they might say something strange, a detail that doesn't quite fit. Something about the road or a date or a name that means nothing to you but will mean something later.
So you're driving and you're picking up on these details. Do you say something? Do you ask if they're okay?
I think you ask, gently, "Are you all right? Do you need anything?" And you watch how they respond.
In most versions of the legend, the hitchhiker seems real enough in conversation. They're not transparent, they're not dramatic, they're just quiet, a little sad.
Which is actually more unsettling than obvious ghost behavior. You can rationalize quiet and sad. You can't rationalize walking through walls.
This is our first revelation. The Vanishing Hitchhiker works as a legend because it's plausible right up until it isn't. There's no moment where you'd think, this is definitely a ghost. You'd think, this is a tired, cold person who needs help.
And then they're gone.
So let's say it happens. You're on the road, you glance at the passenger seat, maybe you looked away for 10 seconds, and they're not there. What is your immediate reaction?
Panic, confusion. I'd pull over immediately. I'd check the back seat. I'd get out of the car and look around.
But there's nothing to find. No footprints in the gravel, no open door you didn't notice, just gone.
At this point, I'm questioning my own sanity. Did I imagine the whole thing? Did I fall asleep at the wheel and dream a passenger?
Except, and here's where it gets complicated, you have proof. They left something in your car. A jacket on the seat, a bag on the floor, something tangible.
So I didn't imagine it. Someone was there. They left something real, and now they're gone.
What do you do with the address they gave you?
I go there. What else can I do? I have their stuff. I need to return it, and I need answers.
Even at what, 11 at night? You're going to knock on a stranger's door?
Yes, because the alternative is driving home alone with a ghost jacket in my backseat and no explanation. I need closure.
So you find the address, you knock, someone answers, and they tell you the story. Their daughter, their sister, whoever, died on that road some years ago. Tonight was the anniversary.
And I'm standing there holding her jacket.
How do you process that?
I don't think you do. Not immediately. I think you hand over the jacket, you say you're sorry for their loss, and you drive home in complete silence, trying to figure out what just happened to you.
And then do you tell anyone?
Who would believe me? That's the trap of the Vanishing Hitchhiker experience. You have no proof anymore. You gave the jacket back. It's your word against everyone's rational worldview.
This is our second revelation. The Vanishing Hitchhiker legend is specifically structured so that the witness is left with nothing but their experience. The evidence disappears with the ghost or gets returned to the family. You can't prove what happened.
It isolates the witness, which is why these stories get told as my cousin's friend swears it happened to them. It's always 1 degree removed.
Because the person it actually happened to can't make anyone believe them. So they tell it as a story instead of a testimony.
That's really interesting. The legend protects itself by making direct witnesses seem unreliable.
Let's talk about the different regional versions for a second, because they add some really important layers. In the Korean version, sometimes called the taxi ghost legend, the passenger pays the driver with paper money that turns into funeral offering paper when the driver reaches the destination.
So the ghost pays you with ghost money. That's a detail that changes everything. In the American version, it's about the witness's emotional journey. In the Korean version, it's about a transaction that turns out to be supernatural.
In the Filipino version, the hitchhiker sometimes leads the driver away from an accident they would have been in. The ghost saves your life, then vanishes.
So in that version, she's not haunting the road, she's protecting it.
Same legend, completely different moral, which tells you a lot about what different cultures want from their ghost stories.
American version, prove that the afterlife exists. Korean version, commerce has supernatural dimensions. Filipino version, the dead look out for the living.
This is our third revelation. The Vanishing Hitchhiker isn't one story. It's a framework that cultures use to explore what they believe about death, the afterlife, and what the dead want from us.
Which makes it almost impossible to prepare for, because the version you encounter depends on where you are and what the ghosts need.
So let's build a practical guide anyway. You're a driver. What are the rules?
First, if you're going to pick someone up, pay attention before they get in the car. Cold night, wet road, person who seems slightly out of place, those are already yellow flag.
But here's the ethical problem. If they're a real person who needs help, you can't just drive past them because they might be a ghost. Most people standing on the side of the road are just people.
Agreed. So you use judgment, but you stay alert. You notice details. What are they wearing? Does it match the weather? Do they know the area? Do their answers make sense?
And if they give you an address, remember it. Write it down if you have to, because if they vanish, that address is your only lead.
What do you do if they vanish while you're driving? Like mid-journey?
Pull over safely. Check the car. Don't panic in a way that causes an accident. That's the practical priority. Your first danger is the road, not the ghost.
Then you decide, do you go to the address? Do you go home? Do you call someone?
I'd go to the address, because if there's any chance the person was real and somehow got out of my moving car, I need to know. And if they're not real, I still need to know.
What if no one answers at the address?
Then you've hit a dead end, literally, and you go home and you sit with the experience.
What about the item they left behind? Do you keep it?
Every instinct says no. Return it. Whether it ends up at the family home or on a grave, it doesn't belong with you.
There's something in the folklore about keeping objects that belong to the dead. It tends not to go well.
Across almost every ghost tradition, holding on to the possessions of the deceased creates a connection you probably don't want. Return the item, close the loop.
And then?
Then you tell the story. You're probably not going to be believed, but you tell it anyway. because these stories matter. They get passed down for a reason.
Which brings us back to what makes this legend so enduring. It's not scary in a jump scare way. It's sad. A ghost who just wants to go home, who doesn't know or can't accept that home is somewhere she can't reach anymore.
That's the real horror of the vanishing hitchhiker. Not the vanishing, the wanting.
She keeps trying to make the journey, night after night, and she never gets there.
Let's do the recap. The official Vanishing Hitchhiker Survival Guide.
Step 1. Use judgment before you stop. Notice details. Stay alert to anything that seems slightly off.
Step 2. If you pick someone up, pay attention to the conversation. Remember the address they give you. Notice what they leave behind.
Step 3. If they vanish, stay calm and pull over safely. The road is your immediate concern.
Step 4. Go to the address. You need answers, and if there's any chance they were real, it's the right thing to do.
Step 5. Return whatever they left behind. Don't keep objects that belong to the dead.
And Step 6. Tell the story. You're probably not going to be believed. Tell it anyway.
The key takeaway is The Vanishing Hitchhiker is a legend about grief, repetition, and journeys we can't finish. The ghost isn't trying to scare you. She's trying to go home.
Which somehow makes her more frightening and more heartbreaking at the same time.
That's it for this episode of What If It's Real? Next time, we're going somewhere much more domestic and somehow just as unsettling. The Girl with the Green Ribbon.
A love story, a mystery, and one question you should probably never ask the person you love most.
We'll ask, what do you do when someone you care about has a secret they've told you never to pry into? And what happens when you just can't help yourself?
Stay curious, stay cautious, and maybe respect people's boundaries. It could save your life.
See you next time.